Welcome to the Rob, Comrade, and Kale Show. Rob Sanders.
I don't care. My jokes don't go over. I don't care.
Comrade Mike Dobreski.
I don't care. We hate you. I don't care.
And Kale Hall.
This is stupid. Making noises on the show. You're like a crazy person. Why do you do this to your father and I?
The Rob, Comrade, and Kale podcast.
I'm not ashamed no more.
Welcome in to the latest edition of the Rob, Comrade, and Kale podcast. My name is Rob Sanders. I am your friend here on this podcast. I'm not one that was cursing yesterday when my team was playing. I was all sunshine and roses with my team. My team was wearing things on their jerseys that said peace and unity and happiness and all of that good stuff. That's what you got from my team. I do have two co-hosts. They are not very happy this evening. They will not be happy until basketball season. We'll start with the bald man from the upstate who is just now watching the debacle from yesterday. He is, of course, Kale Hall. Kale, what's up, brother?
Good evening. My favorite night of the week. Well, it was my favorite night of the week during the off season. I guess when you win some and lose a lot, it's not. It's not your favorite night of the week. But
well, Sunday night, I was wondering about Kale's like we brought Kale into the show in January, I believe, and I was worried that Kale would probably leave us before the end of football season, especially with the shit show that he's having to deal with. But hey, congratulations to Kale for sticking it out through week 2 of this debacle.
I've been going through this shit for 45 years. Why would I quit now?
I know, but now you have to publicly sit here and listen to me goof on you every Sunday night during this season, and you can't. You can cuss me out because that's fine, but. Let's welcome in the third member of our show. He is the comrade, Mike Dobreski. Mike, good evening, sir.
There's nothing much good about it. Bad weekend. And listen, I try to tell myself, number 3 team in the country, we lost by 14 points. I mean, why am I that upset? But, I mean, it's just we'll get in later in the show, but it's the fact that really the defense has me mad. I know all the stuff, the offense and the long drives, the clock management. I get all that too. But that's the offense. You're kind of expecting my whole point was it's year 6. Our defense is supposed to be ungodly good by now, right? It's supposed to be, and that's my whole thing. I'm happy with the offense. I really am. And you can go with the clock management thing. Yeah, I had no problem with the clock management thing until the last drive, the second half of the last drive, okay?
Sure.
The announcers were getting on in the fourth quarter. I'm all about executing. You can't get back in the game if you're trying to hurry up and 3 and out. Now, the last 8 minutes of the game there, but,
I know that you're trying to vent, and this is your time where you can get it all out, but we've got to take care of our sponsors first.
No.
Okay.
What? That's good.
Oh, I was about to say, what the fuck are you talking about? You're just telling me no? What the hell's wrong with you?
I'm watching my dog chase a cat right now outside. Yeah, go. This is good.
All right. Well, let's thank our sponsors for the show. Callaway's Bar and Grill in West Columbia, Highway 1, diagonal from the Walmart. What is Kale playing with?
This is a rubber bone.
Okay. There you go. Thanks for that, Kale. Callaway's Bar and Grill out in West Columbia, Highway 1, diagonal from
the home wrecker, didn't you? No.
I thought it was the home wrecker. I was like, Kale's showing off his home wrecker. He's like, look, I found it. I lost it, but now I found it. That's a Mazodcast story, by the way.
I called their voicemail line yesterday after their game, by the way. I hope they play it.
They're friends of the show.
I know that. Oh, their team looked like confirmed doo-doo yesterday. So
yeah, hot dog water. Hot dog water.
Yeah.
Anyway, but Callaway's Bar and Grill, Callaway'sBarandGrill.com. We also have the No Spin Zone segment from DNC Trucking and Transport. The No Spin Zone segment with the comrade Mike Dobreski. Mike, good evening, sir.
It sucks to be a Gamecock. Dabo Swinney is a man that inspires me. I'm okay with the way that Will Muschamp led my team at Florida this weekend. I think people need to give him more time to build the program. Betty Wilson hates a couple of things. Me, and when the little Dennis smells like country ham. It's utterly shameful to be a Gamecock. Go Tigers.
That message courtesy of Dennis Wilson, DNC Trucking and Transport. By the way, the whole chat room thinks it's a home wrecker there, Kale. Just throwing that out there. Lisa.
Oh, they're immature and have dirty minds. So what? I mean,
You're the one that brought up home wrecker first, not me, sir. I didn't.
They don't even know what the fuck that means. So,
well, we'll explain that to them. We'll call it the hush after the podcast when we'll explain what the home wrecker is. Anyway, so we do have a lot to get into tonight. Do you want to talk about the game first or what just happened, gentlemen? I'll let you guys decide.
Game first. Because the game leads into what happened tonight. So
sure, we can do that. But let's talk about. Do you want to do the Clemson game or the South Carolina game first?
No one cares for the Clemson game.
They're the number one team in the country. So
no one gives a shit. You don't play anybody. It's a shit show. No one cares about it.
You've lost like what?
Everyone's here for the Gamecock Florida game recap. Everyone is here. Everyone is here. If we said we're only going to do Clemson, Virginia tonight and not Gamecock in Florida, everyone would log off right now.
You'd have 3 people watching.
Yeah. So let's understand what brings the viewers. It's not Clemson AC football.
We are so much better than you.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Rob, how about that comment from there? Over in the chat room, Eli Watson on YouTube's worst podcast of all time. You're a guy named Eli, and you're calling something the worst of all time?
Dude,
don't even get a vote.
Irritated you.
What?
Who is Eli Watson? That's funny.
I don't know. You don't get a vote, sir. The only Eli I knew was Eli Whitney. Didn't come up with the cotton gin?
He did. Good job. Good job, Kale Hall, knowing your history.
Very good.
There's Eli Manning, too.
Virtual Kale, what do you think of Eli Watson?
I fucking hate him.
Exactly.
There you go.
If you saw Eli Watson, what exactly would you do to poor Eli Watson? I mean, his parents gave him the name Eli, but I don't know. I mean,
I want to break his fucking neck.
Exactly. All right. Well, thanks for watching the show, sir. We appreciate that. Virtual Kale's in love with you, by the way. Anyway, all right. So we can get into the South Carolina game. The Gamecocks lose by a couple of touchdowns to Florida, and the big thing with that game, of course, Gamecock defense gets shredded again. I mean, this is going to become a weekly thing here. I don't think that. I mean, you're supposed to make what's the statement? You make the biggest adjustments from week 1 to week 2. Yeah, shit show week 1, shit show week 2. By the way, there was a play in there that reminded. I think Rich Long posted the photo. It looked like Hunter Renfrow from like 3 years ago. Same play where 8 Gamecocks hit this guy, and he just rambled off right into the end zone.
No, that one was worse than this one. I mean.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, it was.
Knox Vol brings up. Knox Vol says can't finish 10th in the SEC in recruiting every year and expect to win. But
that's not a fair statement. Sir.
I mean, when Spurrier was there, the Gamecocks and the Gamecocks 3 big years, 3 top 10 finishes.
Tell us about all your Jimmies and Joes.
Yeah,
Knox Vol. I mean, what do you?
I'll have to go.
You beat fucking Missouri yesterday, and now
someone can fact check me on this.
They're going to take down. They're going to take down Florida and Georgia this year. Let me tell you, that hillbilly believes that. He does.
I think our recruiting classes during our 3 top 10 seasons, those classes, I think we're all middle of the road SEC.
But look,
so, I'm just saying that's not.
It brings this up, but and it kind of it poops on an argument that I put on this show a lot. But I said this a couple of weeks ago. The Gamecocks have talent, and people laugh and say, No. The Gamecocks
Well,
have passed.
here's the issue. Here's the issue. Okay, in terms of side of the balls, okay, the defense has more talent than the offense does. Okay, this is what pisses me off. Has more talent than the offense does.
Right.
And our head coach, who is the defensive guru, that's what we hired him for. I mean, that's why I preached 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, same defensive system, same defensive. I mean, Muschamp's defensive coordinator. I know that Trayvon Robbins, but Muschamp runs the defense. Okay, same system, same coach. Year 6, more talent, and then why we're losing. The offense has a brand new system, a brand new OC, had no spring practice, okay, and has less talent. I mean, wide receiver wise, less talent. The defense running back wise, less talent, and that's why I give the offense a little bit of a pass when they screw up a little bit. When I drop pass here and there, it's frustrating. But I'm like, okay, the defense, there is no excuse. The defense is supposed to carry the Gamecocks, and that's what we got Muschamp for. But my whole argument when we got Muschamp, okay, was the fact that we would have a great defense here. Because when we hired him, our defense sucked ass. That was our big issue. We couldn't stop anybody. And we hired Muschamp. I'm like, finally, at least now our defense is really good. I don't know about our offense. We know Muschamp's, reputation on that. But we'll be in ball games. And I really believe, while it's not pretty, I think if you're a great defense, like he's had at Florida, you'll be in ball games, and maybe we can find an offense. Enough points to win some games. I like that better than having a team that can score, but then has a sieve on defense. And so in year 6, our defense is horrible, and we have talent, and that's the issue. I don't get that at all. I don't get that at all. And listen, back to Spurrier real quick. And I'm not comparing Spurrier and Muschamp. God knows, okay? But during Spurrier's time here, when we hired him, I got this shirt when I first hired Spurrier. It says something like, run up the score, or something crazy. Because we felt we'd be scoring 50 points a game with Spurrier, okay? The truth is, under Spurrier, our offenses weren't that great, okay? Because his system had kind of not passed, but everyone was doing his system. It wasn't special anymore.
Had adopted his system.
Yeah, so our offenses weren't great. We won because of our defense. We won the opposite way we thought we would. We won because we had great defenses. Our offenses weren't bad, but they weren't like fun and gun, light up scoreboards. Okay, it was
kind of like Chip Kelly with the spread offense, and the Black Mamba back in 2009 out there scoring 50 points against everybody, and then in 2014 everybody's doing it.
And now with Muschamp now, our defense has been below. It's worse than our offense with Spurrier. But the difference was we don't have the offense is great. I mean, the offense has been good, decent this year, but our offense has been horrible too. So like it's just funny. Our last 2 coaching hires was an offensive guru, okay, and notice for Spurrier that really had to change up his offense. I mean, he went to, in our best years, that offense we were running was not the Spurrier offense. It was the new aged, Connor Shaw dual threat quarterback thing. It wasn't the Jesse Palmer. Who's the other dude? He had Florida.
We get it. Rex Grossman.
Okay. Yeah, Rex Grossman, that stuff. Okay, so it's just kind of weird how that works out some ways. But I'm not sure what Muschamp. I mean, it's not like defensive pass. I'm not sure the deal is much the defense. I don't get it. But they don't tackle. People are wide open all the damn time. Like there's space between. I don't get it. I don't get it at all.
Well, listen, I can tell you, if you look at Muschamp's defense that he had at Florida that were great, they were built on the secondary. That's that he builds from the back end up. That's what
our secondary is talented. Our 2 best players, allegedly, are in the secondary.
Sure. Yeah, I'm with you.
And here's what's going to piss me off, okay, is that a year from now or 2 years from now, when I'm trying to spin some shit in Facebook, I'm going to say, oh, look at Israel and J.C. Horn dominating the NFL. And then as I spin that, I'll secretly want to punch myself in the face knowing they didn't do shit here. Or didn't do much here. Okay?
We have that.
Shout out to Chris Hodge over on YouTube who says, why do we have to listen to a history report about SC, quote, air quotes football. You don't have to. You can
go.
hit the leave. You can hit the leave button and go. Play with your Peter or whatever you do on a Sunday night. read the Bible. I mean, go watch. Go watch some damn Netflix. Nobody gives a shit what you're.
But him, I don't ever want to see the motherfucker again.
That being said, all that being said, though, I'm gonna do some rainbow to Gamecock fans, okay? Because a day after, I will say this though, our defense looked a lot better in the second half. Okay, they did, okay, but I mean, depending on the point. But listen, if Florida really is,
you, Mike, I'm laughing at the comment.
If Florida really is the third best team in the country, okay, which I don't think they are. We're not that far away. I love the offense, by the way. I love the play calling. Now that we can go to the whole clock management thing, I love how we're running the football. Okay, I like Colin Hill. Our receivers need to catch the damn ball more. I mean, but I like the way we run our offense, though. Will you agree, Kale? You like how we run the offense? It looks like we have a plan.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I like that. I like the way they're moving the ball. I like the fact yesterday, for the first time, how long has it been since we had someone rush for 100 yards in a game?
Yeah.
And last year against Charleston Southern, probably.
Yeah.
Right. So I like that. I mean, I really do. It's refreshing to see them actually moving the ball. Like you said, they don't have the most talented players over on that side of the ball. They blocked better yesterday. The offensive line looked better, but this defense is. I mean, God, I don't understand it. I don't get it.
Right.
I know the 2 5-stars that we have that we've recruited are not contributing a lot right now on the defensive side of the ball. Because you're still young, but you still recruit. Your star average is much higher over on that side of the ball than it is on the offensive side of the ball. And it's just not happening. And it makes me wonder, I got back and kind of got to looking at some of Muschamp's stats as a defensive coordinator. I really haven't done a deep dive into it, but do you think he's maybe a little bit overrated as a defensive coordinator? Because some of these teams that he was on that he was a coach on that competed for national championships and went deep into the top 10 with LSU and Texas. They had some pretty damn good offenses there as well.
Yeah.
And I just I don't know. I don't see it.
I mean, his Florida defense is pretty good. I mean, even after he left, that defense carried them. James McElwain's sorry ass to Atlanta a couple times. I mean, that's what I was kind of hoping the Gamecock defense would be at this point, just to be a fragrance over the offense. Kind of help.
How about just not even that? How about just look like you know what the fuck you're doing, and how about being able to tackle?
Well, it's not just the tackling. It's just that the guys have so much space.
That's what I'm saying. They're not even in the space.
Tackling is one thing, but it's hard to tackle guys in space. I mean, the athletes. It's not easy. But the problem is, why are they so goddamn open? Like, I mean, it's like no one's near them. Well, it's like we got 8 guys in the field sometimes. Like, why is he open? And they have athletes. The athlete's going to make you miss sometimes. I mean, our tackling is horrible. I'm not trying to – but like the first thing is, why are they so damn open?
Look, we could talk about that, but even when they get to the point of, hey, I wrap a guy up, they don't wrap guys up.
No, they don't. I've been watching enough. I've been watching enough other teams.
I think well-coached teams can do that, and they're not very well coached.
I've watched a ton of games. I watched a ton of other games. I'm not sure if that's an epidemic around college football this year because no spring ball. Or
it is. I've heard that it is.
So, call the show. Sound off 803-470-2905. 803-470-2905 is the number to call if you would like to join us on the program tonight. My big thing to taking away from that game. When you look at the stats, Kyle Trask lit up the secondary. I know the comrade thinks he's going to be a fraud. And I want to clarify something with this too. Comrade said Kyle Trask is fraudulent, and he taught the people that he talked to. I think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, Mike, but I think that you were talking about his ability to be a quarterback at the next level. Is that what you were talking about?
No. The whole fraud thing, I like to exaggerate on. The basic thing was Football Focus, I think .com.
Right. Yeah, but don't.
But they were evaluating his season last year, and they basically were saying, I mean, they didn't use this word, okay? Basically saying that he was a little bit lucky last year, like that he wasn't as good as his numbers last year, and he's a candidate to regress this year. That was their statement. Okay, now I take that, and I exaggerate by 25 times. Say he's a fraud. Now his first two games are against two crappy ass defenses. So let's hold on.
In the SEC, he's the first quarterback. Hello, son. He's the first quarterback. I know. Hello. He's the first quarterback in the history of the SEC to have 10 touchdown passes in his first two games.
Okay.
So that alleviates the fraudulent end of it.
But what if he ends the season? We'll watch him against Georgia. I think Georgia's going to eat him up. By the way, the Bulldogs look awful. Remember now, who told you to don't sleep with the Bulldogs? The Bulldogs will eat him up. You watch it.
Holy shit. All right, well, let's
watch it.
Hold on. Shut up. Go to the phones. Hello. Good evening. Welcome to the show. What's up?
Good evening. I got two things I just want to put out there and have you guys discuss.
Sure.
First,
have at it.
I thought Clemson flat on Saturday night. Prove me wrong. Second, I still think Carolina can get to 5 or 6, but they got to put it together now. Love the show. I'll take your comments offline.
Well,
thank
I will
you.
tell you, he brings a valid point. I think that we probably face the best offense that we'll face all year on Saturday. So I think it's downhill from here as far as offenses go. Now, Georgia, I don't know if they get it together. It's a different kind of offense, but I think there's some validity to that.
Yeah. I mean, he talked about Clemson being flat. We'll get into the Clemson game before we get out of here, but I just don't understand why you can't just admit that maybe Kyle Trask is a pretty good quarterback, because you're like one of the last people that are on that train.
I'm saying to watch. I respect people who follow this stuff closely, and they said, let's regress this year. He's playing against two bad defenses. Yeah, and Destroy, we're a bad defense, yeah.
Hold on, wait a minute. Wait,
real quick. So Destroyer said Comrade just became a dog fan. No. If you listen to the podcast, when what's his face guy when the guy opted out, Newman opted out, I said that they don't sleep in the Georgia Bulldogs, and I threw the hatchet down to the win the SC East. They're still the best team in the SC. So this isn't new, Destroy, and they're going to destroy your ass. Mark it down. They're going to beat Gator ass, and you'll come out here and say, we did a bad game. They'll beat your ass. Okay, you can't take the game. Where's the game being played? Is it still being played in? It's not in Jacksonville, is it? They're playing in. Where are they playing that Florida Georgia game?
I personally don't give a fuck about it.
It's in Jacksonville.
Oh, it's playing in Jacksonville. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Want to know why? Because your ass can't munch in the hedges like we do.
Here's the only thing I don't understand about the Trask thing. He is good. But I can't understand, and he's as good as he is, why did Dan Mullen for an entire year and then 2 games into the next year start that human trash can, Felipe Franks at quarterback, and not get this guy a chance? It makes no sense. And also yesterday, where was Emily Jones? Emily Jones didn't make a presence yesterday at all. Was he injured? Was he missing? I don't know. Did Corona get him?
I don't know. That's a good question.
He usually gets into a game or two for a few plays.
I got one dude call me a Bulldog fan and one dude call me a Florida fan. Which is it? Good Lord.
I just call it a failure.
I hate them both, but I think Georgia's the best team in the East. They're better than Florida. And they're going to smack them.
I think that Dan Mullins. I mean, he's a quarterback guy. I mean, he's an offensive guy, so he should have known that. He should have known what he had, in my opinion. I mean, I can understand the coach like Will Muschamp, who's just all thumbs when it comes to, well, obviously now it looks like he's all thumbs when it comes to everything football. But I can see him not being able to make that dissertation, but not Mr. Mullen. They're making a lot of sense.
Back to the numbers for the game. Kyle Pitts, another big day, 4 catches, 7 yards, and he is a good player. By the way, if you're an LSU fan, fuck off with all the Eric Gilbert's going to be better. He's not. Not right now. He's not.
That dude's going to be unreal in the NFL too. Pitts, as long as he's healthy, he's going to be unreal in the NFL. I mean, he's a prototype. And when the NFL's played now in space, he's going to be unreal in the NFL.
He's going to be a great player.
Unless he goes to the Texans with no quarterback.
Hunter Slay over on YouTube asked, when we talk about how bad Florida's defense is, it's pretty bad, Hunter. It's pretty bad. You guys and Jaron Garrett Doodoo may be able to get something going against them.
I'm not buying the Florida defense yet, man. I'll give you that. And I'll stick by what I said. I thought Florida was going to win the East, but man, if they play defense like that against the rest of their schedule, they're going to look like shit somewhere.
Georgia's defense is for real.
Well, the concerning part is the way that we were able to run the ball against them with our stable of running backs. What do you think Georgia's going to do to that defense if they don't straighten up?
Yeah.
Right. But anyway, my other final thing that I took away from this game, and this is something that is out there, and I think that people need to start questioning about it a little bit, is why in the world are we not seeing any balls thrown to Dacarrion Joyner? Why are we not seeing any ball thrown to Luke Doty? It is a missing in action thing with those two guys. We were told, now, once again, I don't believe anything that Muschamp says in his press conferences when it comes to certain players doing certain things. I think he's the biggest liar on the planet with all of that. We'll get into some more of him being an idiot later on with stuff he tells the press. But we were told by the Bobo, and, I take Bobo seriously because he's taken basically a bunch of 3-star guys and a transfer with 3 knee surgeries and put together a couple of good offensive games, better offensive games than what South Carolina's had in a while. So, he said preseason that Doty was a great player and a great kid and everything else. Not good enough to get him out on the field for at least one target to Dacarrion Joyner. And, I thought about it, and I thought, well, maybe it's an issue of they have issues in practice as far as downfield blocking and stuff like that. Maybe that's part of it. But
that's what I heard on the radio was that they would get them into the game plan eventually. But right now, when they want to go run heavy, if those guys aren't they're not able to run block the way that they need to. Yeah, I don't.
Well, here's the thing too with Joyner. I think Joyner. I'm not sure about Doty now, but I heard a comment. Was it Bobo or Muschamp said something about targets or anything? Joyner's having a hard time getting open. I mean, everyone thinks it's about speed.
You got to be able to get separation.
Yeah, it's not just
Joyner. Joyner or Jordan? You said Jordan.
Joyner. I'm sorry. Did I say Jordan?
Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure we're talking about the same guy.
Not Michael Jordan. Joyner. So they made it sound like he's having a hard time getting separation, getting open. And just because you're fast doesn't mean, you can get open. I mean, it's about running routes. These guys are brand new receivers still. I know Doty played up in the high school, and Joyner, this is, I guess, his second year. But Joyner's been hurt a lot, too, in practice. He hasn't been practicing a whole lot since the season began. He's had, issues and stuff like that. So I don't think they're – listen, I really think that they're trying to put the best guys out there. I don't think they're trying to hide people or trying not to, but they just, I mean, I think it's just
where they are. And because after the stuff we were told, just a no-show.
And real quick though, what do you guys think? What do you guys think of Colin Hill? What's your opinion, Kale, on Colin Hill?
Okay, well,
I like him. I mean, I like the accuracy. I think he's a lot more accurate than what we had. Doesn't look very mobile.
No, he's not mobile.
Taking some sacks, but I don't see the happy. I mean, you're the quarterback guy. I mean, but I don't see the happy dancing feet, and he looks more comfortable in the pocket than what Ryan Walensky did, in my opinion.
Yeah, and just going back to Bentley too. Talking about Bentley's last full year he played. I mean, he listen. There's times he throws the ball and it's not accurate, but every time he throws, he throws it like with confidence. I mean, he's not trying to aim the shit.
And he was standing back there. He was taking some shots.
Yeah, he was. He took some hits. He's not mobile. He's not gonna really extend a lot of plays. That's kind of the one downside of him. But either Walensky, I mean, I'm guessing if thinking of Doty being the quarterback one day here, Doty, from what I hear, is the kind of guy who can extend plays. And that's kind of important in this day and age of football, to extend plays, and that's one thing he can't do. Walensky can't do that either. But I like him. I mean, it's clear why he's started Walensky.
His numbers on the day: 28 for 47, 212 yards, 4.5 yards on each catch, 2 touchdowns. So nothing that's going to light the.
Well, he had 6 drops though too. It's throwing those 6 drops.
So. I was going to mention that the 6 drops. I'll give you that too. But the best player on your offense yesterday was Kevin Harris.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's not even remotely fucking close. 22 carries, 100 yards, averaged 4.5 yards a carry. Also caught 4 balls for 27 yards and a touchdown. So he had a touchdown in the air, touchdown on the ground. He's the best player on the offense right now.
Another guy I like too is Fenwick is a good compliment to Harris. I like Fenwick's a little bit different runner, and I like he kind of get through a whole. I like Fenwick a lot too. And I know he makes mistakes sometimes too with picking up blocks sometimes, but he gets better every week, and I like him kind of giving Harris a little different look. Yeah, I mean, I see. I like the offense a lot, man. I like the offense a lot.
That's fine, and you have the capability of being a decent offense as long as Muschamp doesn't decide to put his hands in it. Judging by the tone of his press conference tonight, he's pissy. He is not very happy right now. We'll get into that in just a moment. But the defense is an absolute shit show. We've talked about that. I don't know how they can fix it. I mean, and that was going to be my next question in my little notes here. There's talent on the defensive side of the ball. You supposedly have a defensive-minded guru coach who is supposed to be the second coming of defense. He's had great defenses in other spots around the country. What the fuck with the defense, and how do you fix it? Kale, what do you think, man?
I really don't know at this point. Some of that stuff just looked like the one in the third quarter, the Kadarius Toney thing. That just looked like fatigue to me. That's the only way I can explain that. How the fuck does 3 people miss that man? I mean, that's just it's unexplainable. Yeah. And that once again goes back to lack of depth. Which I mean, we're always, I don't. They're rotating people in and out there. I mean, I don't know. It just.
All right, comrade, tell us how to fix the defense. Then we got to talk about what Muschamp said.
I don't know, but if you'd have told me we're 0-2 right now, I would have told you that we're 0-2 because our offense sucks ass. The fact that if you give me our offensive numbers right now for the first 2 games and said, "Here, just show me all tapes of our offense. Here's what your offense looks like the first 2 games. What's your record?" I'm like, "Oh, we're 2-0 easy," because our defense will be, at least average. I mean, if defense is average, would be 2-0. Just average. I mean, it's bad. How do you fix defense? I have no idea. I am dumbfounded at how they're bad. I don't get how they're bad. With Muschamp, the coach, with talent, I don't get it at all. I don't get it.
I'm going to play you something first, okay? This is a comment from Coach Nick Saban after his team won their game yesterday against who did they play yesterday? I mean, it didn't really. Oh, Texas A&M. Yeah. So here's this comment from Coach Nick Saban. First of all, let's make sure that we're all in agreement on this. Nick Saban is a hell of a coach. Do you guys agree?
No,
Jesus fucking Christ. Nick Saban's a hell
of a hand.
He's a hell of a hand. This is what he said yesterday within the first 30 seconds of his press conference.
We don't really have anybody significantly injured. Will Reichert will still be day-to-day as we go through and see how he feels next week. And Chris Owens should be able to start practicing a little bit more, but we'll just have to see how those guys, go right now.
All right, so that is Nick Saban after the game talking about injuries, doing what a coach is supposed to do. So tonight, when Will Muschamp was asked about injuries, here is what Will Muschamp said. Now, this is
no, we didn't have any injuries. And guys, for the rest of the year, I'm not going to address any injuries in the COVID situation. We're getting tested 3 times a week. Guys are up, guys are down, contact tracing. We got all kind of stuff, and I apologize. I've got parents asking me not to disclose about COVID and different such. We're not going to address injuries anymore the rest of the year. Okay?
All right. And then he says, okay, at the end of it. This guy, once again, the way that he talks, he acts like he's won multiple national titles instead of going 5-15 in his last 20 games. This guy, once again, just parades that out there. You know what? I'm not going to answer questions about injuries. What the fuck are we here for then? What are we here for? So you can tell us we got our teeth kicked in again? I mean, is that what you're going to tell us? We got our teeth kicked in again? I mean, why even? I'm at the point now where it's like, why should anyone show up and get anything from this guy? Just have him release a statement. He doesn't want to be there. He doesn't want to tell you about the team. It's an absolute disaster, and it's going to get, we're talking about COVID. No, he's not. After the game, you had guys that were legitimately injured in that game. And you're supposed to tell people, hey, this is the injury stuff. That's part of it. This guy is an absolute failure. And I wanted to get Mike's opinion on it because maybe I just heard it incorrectly, but I'm not the only one that's saying these things. The way that he said that is point blank, screw you. I'm not going to tell you anything. I'm going to tell you anything about the injuries. If it was just the coronavirus thing, okay. I mean, I don't have to like it, but in the midst of a pandemic, you would hope that he would say something. But no, we're not even going to talk to you about the injuries that happen on the field and, are those players hurt? No, we're not going to tell you that. He is a gong show, Mike.
Well, he's seeing the writing on the wall, okay? He knows that his career as a Power 5 head coach are looking pretty bleak right now. He's not going to get fired this year. He's going to play. He's going to get coached next year. But I'm just saying though. But he's starting to see the fact that he's a lame duck. I mean, because he knows he's not going this year either. But he's going to go the next year, basically, on the hottest of hot seats. And I think he realizes that his defense blows ass. He probably realizes he can't really fix it, and so I don't know. He's getting pissy. The thing is, he comes from the Nick Saban school, who comes from the Will Muschamp, or comes from the Bill Belichick school.
Mike,
the difference is, okay, well, I'm not done. Stop it.
For you,
stop it.
Saban updated everybody's injury.
But Nick Saban also does the same thing with injuries too. But Muschamp lies all the time with the injuries.
Oh, fucking shit, Mike.
That's what I'm saying.
I just played you.
First of all, ass wipe. Let me fucking finish.
Holy shit.
Fuck. Let me fucking finish my thought.
Oh my God.
Let me finish my fucking thought. Okay? As I was saying, the difference is those two guys win all the damn time, and so it's not as being cute. Okay? When you can't beat any fucking buddy, you look like a fucking moron. Okay? And that's what he doesn't fucking get. That's what I get to say. Okay? But that's where he's brought up on to do, but it doesn't work when you're doing that. He should be kissing the press's ass at this point. Because at this point, Belichick and Saban don't have to kiss the press's ass because they're not going anywhere. They set their own ticket. Muschamp needs to press on the side more than anybody. And so this whole tactic he's doing right now is I don't know what he's doing. Okay, he's making it that much, tough for himself. He needs to do the opposite.
Well, and I agree with you on that, but I'm tired of hearing, well, Nick Saban does it. Nick Saban literally, I went back and looked at his last 4 games tonight. Within the first 2 minutes, he tells you who's injured.
And so does Muschamp every night too. It's the first time he didn't do that. My point is, Saban and Belichick both are kind of sketchy in the injury front. They'll give you information, and it turns out it's not quite correct. Belichick had Tom Brady injured every damn week on the list.
Well,
Bad
at least
elbow.
I'll give you this. You can admit that he is a lame duck, and
Well, I
he
mean,
should be on his way.
he turns it around like crazy.
Shout out Talk to the Paul over on YouTube says South Carolina has always been a disaster of a football program, but Muschamp is ruining them more. I guess, sir. I guess you pulled the Rip Van Winkle deal during that time when Steve Spurrier was shoving a cork bat up Dabo's ass every year, huh? That didn't happen. We conveniently forget about that, though.
Yeah. Well,
always been a disaster.
But it comes back to this too, though. What Mike said does make some sense. Gamecock fans, he's not going anywhere, and people can laugh and whatever, and you can throw all the numbers up. He's won 5 out of his last 20, but it comes back down to a couple of things. But the main thing is the old greenbacks. The University of South Carolina announced this week they are not raising tuition for the second year in a row. They are losing a shit ton of money on the football program. And it's not just because they're, we can goof and say they're the Gamecocks. Every program across the country is losing money.
Yeah, everybody is.
Because they can't put people into the stadiums, and it's just not the same. So they're not going to pay Will Muschamp $15 million to go and sit on his ass and talk about, hey, I ripped South Carolina off for 5 years. They thought I was a great coach. No, that's not going to work. The eye test of that is not going to work at all. And the university's going to keep him, and it's going to go through to at least next year. So that's why I'm asking questions like, how can we fix it as far as the defense goes? Okay, if you're a Gamecock fan, that's what you need to think about. How can he fix it? Is there something that they can do? Because it seems like we gooped on the Comrade and Kale a lot with the whole Bobo thing, but Bobo
it only really got exposed against a team with a really good offense. I mean, looking at the schedule, how many more really good offenses are they going to play? Last week against Tennessee, we weren't talking about how horrible the defense was.
Yeah, well,
we kind of were in the second half when Garen Dudu started lighting us up a little bit. Then it became an issue. But everybody was more talking about the offense. So
I can agree on that you probably played the best offense you'll play yesterday against Florida as far as for the rest of the season. I don't know how good Auburn is. Vanderbilt's not very good. Texas A&M is not very good.
Texas A&M's hot trash.
They're trash across the board. So
if we're gonna beat them, let's be this year. Because they're definitely beatable. A&M's beatable. Missouri's beatable. LSU, I don't know. LSU looked pretty good yesterday, even though it wasn't Vanderbilt. Auburn's beatable. They're nothing special. Kentucky. Mike, you want to talk about frauds and Mike calling something out for being a fraud. UNC and Kentucky that we called out for being frauds definitely played the part yesterday. Definitely
fraudulent.
Well, UNC is undefeated. Kentucky hasn't won a game, but UNC
was supposed to be blistering people's ass by 40 to 50 points, running up the score on everybody, and they have not done it. They were very, very fortunate to win yesterday. Very fortunate.
How come that no one can just say maybe Boston College is pretty good? Can we kind of throw that out there?
I think they're underrated. They're underrated.
They've got their quarterback seems to have a set of gonads, and they got two great offensive linemen. The secondary is pretty decent, but whatever. Let's just shit on North Carolina because that's what South Carolina fans like to do. But yeah, whatever. Let's overlook Boston College altogether. Last thing with South Carolina before we move on, talk about our picks and talk about the Clemson game. Mike, you said that he is basically what was the term you used? He's seeing the writing on the wall. We need to talk about coaches to go out there. On the fifth quarter postgame show yesterday, some of the names that were brought up included what's the guy at Minnesota? PJ Fleck. PJ Fleck was one of the guys that came up. But you know who South Carolina might end up with, because this is the South Carolina way, because it's, hey, we have to have a retread. Bobby Petrino. That name came up.
No.
Saying it came up. Don't get upset. That's just the way that it is. It came up.
I'm telling you, no.
Thing, or it's like Bobby Petrino or Urban Meyer. Those were the two names that came up quick.
I think it's obvious which one on that.
No, I don't think we're not going that way. I think that Billy Napier is probably the most logical one. And
I think the South Carolina job would probably be beneath Urban Meyer. Just saying.
No.
Yeah.
And Hugh Freeze is another name that's been bandied about.
That name came up too. You're right about that, Cale. I think if Petrino comes, you have to keep him away from the volleyball team. If Urban Meyer comes, you have to make sure that he doesn't hire any murderers.
Or have a heart attack.
And then if Hugh Freeze comes, what was he doing? He was whoring, right? He was a whoring coach, so you got to worry about that.
You'll have us on probation. Oh, no, never mind. We're on probation already. You'll have us on double worse probation.
You get off probation in 16 days, Cale. October the 20th, man. That's when you come off probation.
He'll have us right back on it.
You think so? Anyway, those names are out there, and I kind of agree that it should go with Billy Napier. That would make sense to me. Why not?
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, there you go with that. By the way, still taking calls at 803-470-2905. Noah Sheldon says, go get McElwain. The fake Dennis Wilson over there wants to know if I want to talk about the game with Clemson and Miami. Brother,
what happened to that turd?
Shut up.
We'll do that Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, we could – Mike, do you have the lines in front of you? Can we guess the lines before we get out of here?
We can guess the lines.
Let's pull those up. But by the way, the Callaway's Pick'em Challenge, the Pick'em Contest.
Who's leading that, by the way?
I'm bringing it up right now.
I'm not sure who's leading.
The leader is the guy who pays someone to do his picks through a computer, the Comrade. Congratulations, Comrade.
21-9, the Comrade computer. And all of you say my computer is broken, it's stupid, it's 21-9.
I'm just saying that you stop making picks for yourself, and now look, your computer goes back up there and gets you.
The computer is a computer that's very much built, it's built by me. It's run by me, and I put the formulas in and come out. I got a lab back here. Got a lab. I can't show the camera back here. It's back here, the lab, and it just turns out picks right now.
8 games this week. The high score goes to Dwayne Ard with a 7. Congratulations on that, getting 7 out of 8. Look at you. Also, I would like to say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, but I look at the standings. Jackpot Jr. got 6 games this week, whereas Jackpot Senior, not so much. Cale, are you going to go past your son at any point in this contest?
Well, I was ahead of him at one point in time, and I will be again. How many did I have? 4?
Let's see here. Jackpot finished with 4. That puts him at Jackpot is at 13 correct picks. And Jackpot Jr. is at 17 picks. You got 3 picks to make up on to catch the fruit of your loins there, Cale.
Holy shit.
Jackpot
Jr. I know he picked Virginia because he hates Clemson, just like I do. But I try to think logically. Yeah. Mike, do you have the percentage of who picked what and where you've had before?
I do. I do. The game that everyone got right. The game that most people got right was the Gamecock game. 65%. Hold on, I'm wrong. 69% of the people took the Gamecocks to cover. They did. 65% of the people took Bama to cover, and they did. The worst game was only 10% of the people took Iowa State to cover, and I was one of those 10% of the people. That was the worst. That was the worst game. The second worst game is probably a tie. Oh, no, Virginia Clemson. 28% took Virginia to cover.
Yeah. There you go with that. Okay. So there's our standings with the pick'ems there. Let's talk about the Clemson game for a minute. Clemson wins over Virginia. So the caller earlier said he thought the Tigers came out flat. I mean, from what I watched of the game, I mean, it's at the point now where Clemson is just – I question what Dabo puts out there as far as his rotations go. And they're getting to the point now where they're kind of tough to pick at our pick'em because you never know how long these guys are going to be out there. I do think that Bronco Mendenhall is a great coach, and I think that he's going to do good stuff at Virginia. But, hey, with that game, man, they came in there and they pulled – it was like 24-3 at one point, and then they pulled back in, got it a little bit closer. So, yeah, I mean, I didn't see anything in that game that made me think, well, Clemson's not a good team. Well, I didn't see any of that. Was there anything that stuck out to you, Cale or Mike, about that game that thinks maybe there's a hole in the Clemson team at all?
I don't think there's a – well,
go ahead,
Cal.
I don't think the offense looks the same to me. Does not look as the same or as explosive without Justin Ross out there. I mean, I think when you face a really good team and you won't, that could be an issue with Amari Rogers being your go-to receiver. But I don't know.
That's a fair statement. Yeah,
I do.
Well,
I
the
was
leading
impressed.
receiver on the
I was
night.
impressed with what is he, number 11, Brian Brzee, the Brock Lesnar of college football, just manhandling some dudes out there on the Virginia offensive front. That was pretty exciting to watch.
Yeah. Well, the leading receiver for Clemson yesterday was Travis Etienne with 114 yards. Rogers had 6 receptions for 72 yards and 2 touchdowns. So I guess he had more catches, but as far as total yardage, it went to Travis Etienne. Lawrence threw for 329 yards, 3 touchdowns, 25 for 38. So he threw it almost 40 times. So I don't think that's a good balance, but what do I know? Then I look at it. They had 39 throws, 31 runs. So that's a little over, but nothing about that game that just screamed at me of, hey, Clemson's a problem. I don't think so. The Cale said something a couple weeks ago about Miami, though, and how, the matchup with Miami is going to be like, oh, can Miami go in there and do it? I think Clemson blows Miami out this weekend. Same thing Cale said. This isn't the kind of game that Clemson would lose. Clemson has a better chance of stubbing their toe with Boston College or insert whatever team you've got here or there. Yeah. Losing to Miami, so write that down.
Syracuse or some turd burger.
Yeah, they'll lose to some turd burger team. But Dennis Wilson over here, he's been running his mouth at me since the summer. He won't be here next Sunday. Write that down. He's going to pull out and not come in here. So, in fact, I
think Clemson. I just think Clemson blows them out. Miami looks to me to have some extreme issues defensively. When they couldn't stop Louisville, Louisville kept scoring in that game. Yeah. It's just that Louisville's defense was that fucking bad that Miami was just able to run it up against them. But this is going to be a totally different animal, and I think they're going to have a problem stopping Trevor Lawrence and unity and peace and all those other guys, it's not going to be
Nothing
pretty
stops
for them.
peace in this country, sir. Nothing
There you
stops.
go. Nothing. Not a damn thing.
Real quick, the computer is 21-9. Like people are going, what about your pick in the 1 of 9 losses? 21-9. Okay, G1. I would love for you. I'll give you a free entry now. Okay, and I'll make it even with me for the rest of the year, and I'll squash you.
I'll tell you what. Here's a game that I saw yesterday that was on my radar. I was listening to a bunch of the Vegas guys talk about this one. That was a crazy handicap. Was that damn Navy Air Force game? Air Force had like 30 fucking players missing. That was their first game, and they did something at Air Force called a buyback or a turn back is what it's called, and they can actually like take a semester off from the academy, and it doesn't go against them. And a lot of those players had applied for the turn back and got accepted for it. So when the Mountain West said they'll start playing games because everybody else is going to do it, then the ones who took the turn back couldn't come back to play football in the fall. So they're missing like 30 players off their team, like the quarterback, running back. Their whole offense was gone, and they still go out there. They beat Navy like 40-7, and Navy was like a 7-point favorite in the game. Crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy. Let's look ahead to this week's games. Can we play Guess the Line, comrade? What do you got for this week? You want to do Vanderbilt? Let's do Vanderbilt, South Carolina first.
Well,
I've got South Carolina as. You got the line in front of you?
Yep, I got the lines.
Kale, what's your guess on the line? Vanderbilt, South Carolina.
I'm going to say South Carolina's laying 12.5.
I've got Gamecocks giving them 9.
It is according to Vegas Insider, opened up at -12.
Damn it, Kale! Look at you, Kale. You're not cheating in this game beforehand, are you?
Actually, I heard the line beforehand.
I have one of my Kale Hall specials, a degenerate pick. I want us to do this week also. I'll talk about that in a minute.
Some of the other games, Mike.
How about we got to pick our games? How about Pitt at BC? We want to make that one of our games this week. A pretty good game.
Let's guess the line before we pick the games.
Okay, Pitt at BC.
Boston College -3. Kale,
I would say Pitt at BC. I'd say Pitt -1.
It is Pitt -4.
All over the fucking place. What else we got, Mike?
How about Virginia Tech at UNC?
Ooh, UNC -6.
UNC -5.5.
UNC -7.
Ooh, I won one there. That should be one of them. What else we got?
How about Tennessee at Georgia?
Oh, we got to do that game. Georgia -12.
Georgia -14.
Georgia -14 it is.
Jesus Christ. Why are you so low in the damn standings when you pick all these damn lines?
He's good at handicapping. 2 different skills. How about Oklahoma versus Texas? I imagine that's in the Cotton Bowl. But Oklahoma versus Texas.
Oklahoma -3.
Oklahoma -2.
Oklahoma -2 is correct. Good.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
How about Florida at Texas A&M?
Florida at Texas A&M. Gators -6.
I say Gators -7.5.
Gators -7.
Wow.
Why am I even bothering? All right, so we're going to do that one. What else we got, Mike? Any other ones?
Let's do FSU Notre Dame, but I don't see a line in that one, though. For some reason, no lines on that one. I thought that might be a game we might use. How about Miami at Clemson?
Oh, Clemson -12.
I just lost.
Clemson
Okay.
minus 16.
Clemson minus 16 it is. I'm trying to think of other good games here.
Fuck off. Reading the script.
How about Duke at Syracuse?
Duke at Syracuse. Syracuse minus 6.
I think that's a pick 'em.
It is a pick 'em. It is a pick 'em.
No, I don't want to hear that shit. Kale's over there cheating. All right, so
I have a game I want us to put on the docket for this week.
All right, what do you got?
Citadel versus Army.
The Citadel versus Army.
Let me see if I can find a line on that.
Are you serious?
On CBS, there's a line there. You go to CBS.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where you've been reading the rest of the lines to make me look stupid during this fucking game, Kale. Thanks for that.
Do they play? Do they play on Saturday, Kale?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. We can do that. Okay,
right.
so here's the 8 games I kind of picked out. Okay.
All right, go.
And one of them was, all the games I brought up, but I don't think FSU Notre Dame want to use that one. FSU ND was my game. You guys want to take that one out?
Fuck them.
Yeah, FSU's a wet fart.
So put Citadel and Army in there instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Citadel.
We lost to the Citadel for the second time.
Here's what I have for the really the 6 games. Okay, I've got Pitt at BC, Miami at Clemson, Virginia Tech at UNC, Tennessee at Georgia, Oklahoma at Texas, SC at Vandy, Florida at Texas A&M, and Citadel versus Army.
That's fucking trash.
That's fine.
That's kind of good for you.
Final thing.
I hope this is the last week that we handicap fucking Oklahoma too. I'm about sick and tired of their fucking.
I know. This probably is. I don't think they play another really. I don't really think they play a relevant game the rest of the year. I don't know.
By the way, I got to play this last piece of audio before we get out of here this evening. Kale Hall, of course, calling into the 5th quarter postgame show at my daytime job with WVOC. I'm just going to play the call. I don't know if Kale was partaking or not, but this call came through yesterday.
Odds are I was.
Lines. Let's go to Kale. Kale is on the line.
You got that meatloaf ready? Hello?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Kale.
Hey, man, I was just curious if they all got any houses around Columbia for sale, because I'm up here in upstate with all these taters, and it's killing me. One more week of this. I see why Clemson backed off Shy Smith. 3rd down and inside the 10, and he hats his helmet wanting to come out, and he's supposed to be our playmaker. And I'm just curious, man. Seriously, we have all the success in the world with all our women's sports. Do we just blow this up and just stick to women's sports now? Because honestly, I'm wasting money donating down there to Columbia. As long as Muschamp's there, but then again, we said the same with the coaches before him too. So is it really the coaching? And I heard Frisbee there say about talent with the wide receivers. We proved last week Florida State's got better talent than we got. What is it multiple problems, and is it worth just shutting down the dadgum program and sticking to women's basketball?
Yeah, that is fucking great.
Exactly.
Dennis Wilson.
Gotta stop calling the post-game show, man. People are really worried about you, man. They're really worried. Just saying.
I gotta start taking my phone away from me after a loss, and there wasn't anybody here to do it. So you gotta kind of give me a handler. Yeah.
By the way, there has been some talk about folks saying that they kind of want the Gamecocks to lose the game against Vanderbilt, thinking that would push the administration. I don't think that's going to matter. I think they go 0-10. He still comes back just from the money aspect of it. So there you go. I hate to leave with just that. All right, gentlemen, you have anything else for the show? Comrade, you got the games. We will update them. and we will pick on Wednesday. Thank you guys for calling in. What's Kale fighting with his dryer?
What?
Hell,
That's my dog in the window trying to get
I
back
thought
in.
it was Kale fighting with his. Appreciate you guys, man. With that, this show is a wrap.
Bye, guys.